Hey guys, making a quick video on just updates and trying to fill in some of the blanks of some possibly critical information that I have forgotten to add into my updates video. Um, so I'll get right into it. First thing first is I have been reading books, Millionaire Next Door, Rewired, Happiness, just a couple of different ones. Usually on mental health, but also psychology and also in finances. Um, those are just books I typically find interesting. I also, last night, was watching, or well, listening to an audiobook on Brian Johnson's Zeroism, which was very interesting. And I have put in actually an order. I figured, you know what, I am going to give this a shot. And the reason why I'm giving this a shot is for multiple reasons of why did I decide to purchase some of his products, the Nutty Butter, Longevity Mix, and Blueberry Mix. This was only for a month. Enough time to really get a good gauge or a good idea. Maybe, maybe not, if it's helping me. But what is interesting is the blueberry nut mix, because I'm actually allergic to fruit. As far as I know, it's fresh fruit. Um, so any kind of juice, fresh fruit, that kind of stuff, I cannot have. I will actually, it will close up my lungs. I will have to use an EpiPen. And this is kind of a recent discovery that my doctor has found. And this is something that I've been wanting to try for a while, which is dried fruit. Hopefully I don't die, but that his meal plan for the blueberry nut mix, the longevity blood orange, that stuff, it's dried. I'm gonna try that out. Hopefully, see if that works. I'm really hoping that everything works out. This is all supplement kind of style mix of a meal, and it gives you 30 servings per meal. So I'm gonna try this out, and I really hope it's gonna work out well. I know there was actually I was watching a YouTube video on a review of these meals, but that person never bought it and was very, very critical and clearly thought the whole thing was a scam. And, it's unfortunate, that's going to happen. But it is what it is. Alright, there we go. I do have some notes from that video that gives me some questions that I have as far as for why I chose to actually go through with it, unlike how somebody would not want to go through it. One of the complaints was who else is using this blueprint. This guy is spending all this money on himself, and I am gonna definitely say there's multiple evidence and research. Obviously, who the person that was making the review really doesn't know this person very well, doesn't know the channel, doesn't know his website. It is very obvious he's not the only one. He has been formulating blueprint and having people, such as his family, kids are taking the same food, doing the same protocols. Some of his staff. There's actually been a video on one of his staff members that has done the test for a few days. Not quite as intense as Brian Johnson's does for himself, but it was a great video. I really enjoyed it. It was very well done. Friends and celebrities, once again, there's been videos on that. Obviously, if you're going to say, well, how many people have been doing it, most of these people are wanting to keep themselves private. If they're not in the video, most likely they're wanting to keep private. but there's been clearly proof that other people besides him have been doing it. There's also meetups that they've been doing, and he's been doing trials of these products that I'm ordering, and also of other ones as well. So, with that, I feel like there is more than enough research, enough people that have given the opportunity to try it, that I feel safe to give it at least a shot. If anything, it's a meal. It's cheaper. Yes, there was a question saying, well, this is going to be cheaper than fast food. For 30 days, paying about almost a little over $1 for a meal is pretty darn good. And that's how much these are. For 30 days, I can have longevity mix, one longevity mix, which has cost me about 49 bucks actually. Blueberry nut mix, which I get for 30 days, and that cost me 37 bucks. Almost spot on $1. So, and then for nutty butter, I'm trying that out because I did find the cocoa powder, and I want to try that recipe that Brian Johnson said was really good. I'm quite interested in that. And it's kind of a want, not really necessarily need, but give it a shot. And that is 11 bucks, and you get about 8 servings from that. So once again, these, I feel like honestly these are fairly priced. I do know the supplements, it's different, but then again, supplements tends to be, like, supplement capsules are much more expensive. Whether you're going to a grocery store, especially if you're going to a natural grocery store. My question is, when talking about pricing, like the person did in the review, is are they comparing it prices to a store like Walmart or Safeway, or are they comparing it to prices like a Rayleigh's or a Market of Choice, a place that specializes in healthy foods, which has higher quality majority of the time, which is where I found the cocoa powder. Usually when you're finding stuff that's comparable to what Brian Johnson's doing, it's usually at the higher ends of like a Market of Choice, a Nugget, those kinds of places, that grocery stores that are really on the higher end of the scale of being able to purchase really as close to natural as you could possibly get. And that's the other thing is, you go to a Safeway, you go to a Walmart, how much of that stuff is natural? It's close to zero most of the time. I mean, I know this. I worked there. I worked at both places. It's close to zero. It's close to zero. That's just the reality. It is very hard to find natural products in the U.S., and this is kind of a great way to simplify what exactly a person would generally need. If you have just, say, even the complete stack of what Brian Johnson has on there, is that everything you're ever going to need? You won't need it to ever take anything else again? Most likely not, because every person's different. You might not even need a longevity or a blueberry nut mix or a nutty butter. You might need all of them. It's really, every person is different, their life is different, where they live is different, and all that plays into effect. And it's a unique sort of problem to have, and this is kind of a possible stepping stone for there to be a solution for everyone. Obviously, with this, it still requires discipline, being able to schedule, and etc., and finding the products that you personally would need to fill in those holes that complete your entire meal plan, to the best of your ability. So I think this is a great start. I think it's unique, and I'll just have to give it a shot. I think this is once again a great alternative for me. I am allergic to fruit. I cannot have fresh fruit. I just can't. And with there being dried fruit in this, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. Hopefully it works, and if it works, there's a solution, and I've learned more about myself, my body, and that's kind of what the purpose of Blueprint is to learn about yourself and to better yourself. Try to be healthier, and that kind of goes into the next question, which was, who will spend lots of money for living longer, or even for being healthier? I think is what should have been the question. Who's going to spend more money for being healthier? And there's many people that will spend more money to be healthier. Those higher end grocery stores, people are willing to spend more money thinking that they're getting a good quality food. Some of the times they are, some of the times they actually aren't. This kind of is an example of, theoretically, it's to take out the guessing game. If it does that, that is fantastic. If it doesn't, it's this is not the only person that's done that. That's fallen victim to that, and it's not necessarily his mistake of not doing enough research, not doing this, not doing that. This is all new, and this kind of idea of longevity is kind of really becoming like a big thing. I know as far as for clothes, a lot of the old style clothes that are like considered timeless pieces that will last forever, that's kind of becoming a thing now. It's just longevity, I think that's going to be something that many people hear about, especially on YouTube, a lot more. I'm already hearing or seeing videos about longevity a lot more. It is a very interesting topic. But yeah, most foods are pretty much not natural. They're pretty much processed. One form or another, they're very much processed. America is not the most natural place to get food. It's quite opposite. And it's expensive, even for the unprocessed foods. So it's pretty crazy. And then there was a comparison, I know, in the video about video games and how video games are bad, and similar to, like, if you wanted to take this, oh yeah, there's actually worse things. You could take this, or you could take, like, when I buy a $60 video game, was the example. That could be a bad thing. That's not good for me. And I would actually argue that there is absolutely a ton of research that video games have been able to help with dexterity, mentally with stimulating the brain, even brain growth, reaction times. There's been a lot of positives that have came from video games, even like in military. There's some military branches that use video game style tactics to build up the team and to improve the team and before they actually go in and perform their missions. So I understand the worry or the concern of going into something like this. I 100% do understand. I know as far as for supplements, I had supplements early on when I was in high school. I was taking supplements, BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, some protein shakes, things like that. So it was kind of really becoming more mainstream around when I was in high school, from 08 to 2012. It was kind of really becoming a norm to know people that were taking supplements. I honestly don't know. I would say maybe not as much for women, but it was for the guys, for the men. there was definitely a lot of people taking supplements, a ton. So I think this is going to be interesting. It could be a step in the right direction. If anything, it is more research. But I'm gonna give it a shot, see what happens. So yeah. Um, with that being said, I did want to mention did get a belt and some shoes ordered for work. My work shoes have been getting more and more damaged, worn. So they're at the point of I need to get some new shoes. So I did reach out to this state, and I am receiving help with that. Same with belts. My belt is getting worn. So I needed to get some new belts, and I was able to get some new belts that gives me the opportunity of having a black, and I guess maybe a brown. I might be getting both of them, which would be great. But yes, I'm doing the best I can to set myself up for success. I still have that interview. Most likely, I'll be answering the questions potentially today. But yes, I'm really, just trying to stay focused, stay positive, and not stress myself out too much, and try to succeed and do the best that I can, get the best results I could possibly get. So yeah, hope you're all having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.